Ladies and gentlemen, we are just a little over or under. We're a couple of hours away from Crown Jewel. I'm not good with math right now, unless it has to deal with money. This doesn't have to deal with money, but 48 hours, 36 hours, something like that, around that realm.
36, more like 36.
More like 36 hours from Crown Jewel. And most of the WWE superstars are already there. They've probably been there since Monday night, Tuesday morning. But we are here today to talk about our Crown Jewel predictions. I am the Z is Silent. That is the executive consultant. We are two of the most egotistical people here on UPR. The ego guys, the ego group, the EWO, the egotistical world order. That's what we are today. But we are here to talk about Crown Jewel and our predictions. And one, it is the first, if I'm not mistaken, it's the first card under Triple H that's more than 5 or 6. This is the first.
It's the first one in a while. I don't know for a fact if it's the first one under Triple H, but it's the first one in a while that's not named WrestleMania or SummerSlam, because those are the only ones he usually does it for.
Yeah, the SummerSlam definitely was jam-packed, but that was directly after VKM had got up out of there.
No, VKM has been out since the Royal Rumble. It's just a SummerSlam.
I mean, like
SummerSlam has
when he bought in
5 matches because they consider it to be almost as big as WrestleMania, hence it going into 2 nights.
Okay.
So they can't have 5.
Makes sense.
But, everything else has been strictly 5. I think one PLE he actually had 6. And then I think another PLE he had 5, and then a pre-show match. Which, if you have 5 in a pre-show match, I might forgive you a little bit more. But they don't have pre-show.
That's some Tony Khan. That's some Tony Khan stuff right there. Because Tony Khan will load up a pre-show. WWE usually does 2, matches. Maybe 3. Yeah,
they give you 1 or 2. I think 1's a sweet spot. Give you 1 to get the crowd hype and stuff like that. 3, I think, is a little too much. And
I think 2 is because maybe the first one might not hit the way you thought it would, and the second one you can redeem yourself on the second one, and that should probably be the main event of the 2. But so we have the card here, and I'm gonna look just by importance of or what I think the show would start with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say that I think the show would either start with Kevin Owens and Randy Orton or Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed. Is there actually, or maybe the triple threat?
I think it starts with one of the Crown Jewel championships, whether it be the men's or the women's. I think it's going to start with one of those.
Let's definitely start with the women's, because if the rumor is true, and we'll get into that a little bit later, it definitely makes sense to have somebody else come out there later. So what is deemed as what we think are the opening of the show would be Nia Jax versus Liv Morgan for the first ever women's Crown Jewel Championship, champion versus champion. And I'm not gonna lie, for me personally, I don't have very much interest in this, only because aside from Gunther and Cody, Nia and Liv haven't had much interaction the way that those 2 ladies have. I mean, vice versa. Nia and Jax and Liv haven't had the interaction. Much. No, not at all. The only interaction they had was when Rhea came. And that's about it. Other than that, they haven't had much interaction. There's been some shots a little bit left and right, but not much. And so for that purpose, it doesn't make me too excited about this match or even care about this match. But I am a Nia fan. Nia's having a phenomenal year. I'm going to go with Nia for the win, only because I feel like there's going to be too much dissension within the Judgment Day, because that's the way that it's looking right now. And I just don't see. I like where Liv's. I like where her momentum's been and her trajectory, but her 6 months of her comeuppance hasn't even compared to Nia's year. I think that what Nia's done for the past year, she should have been in top 5 of that PWI wrestling list, hands down. Your thoughts on Nia versus Liv?
I am a Nia Jax fan. I'm a huge Nia Jax fan. I think she's very underrated. as far as being a top heel in the business. When we talk about heels all the time, we don't give a lot of respect to the women. And I think Nia, and to her credit, I think Liv Morgan's doing a great job too. I think she finally got there where she needed to be. But Nia knows how to generate heat. She knows how to draw heat, and she's been doing great in that ring. Last time she was in Saudi Arabia, Lyra Carrier still has not been heard from since. And I'm exaggerating, of course, but yes, you know what I'm saying. Like that's
she showed up on TV maybe like 3 or 4 times since, but she
showed up more times. But it hasn't been the same.
She ain't looked the same.
They've had 3 interactions. They're going to have another one tomorrow night on SmackDown, but they've had 3 interactions, and I actually like their interactions that they've had. It's just been too few far in between. Because realistically speaking, it's still heel versus heel, and that's not something that we get in the world of wrestling too much. And we're talking about the 2 biggest heels, female-wise, in wrestling.
This is very true. Again, it's very unexpected when she does show up,
right?
And when Liv shows up, and it's usually at the worst time for Nia. Example here, I'm going to show up here is when Liv and Raquel decided to show up while Nia is dealing with Naomi, right? It was so inopportune,
right,
that it didn't make any sense for most people. And for most people, and me included, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. They have a match. I completely forgot. For some reason, WWE made me forget that they ended up, they are on a collision course. However, they are not making me forget that Cody and Gunther are on a collision course. I just feel like WWE kind of dropped the ball as far as these 2 women on a collision course, because in their own rights, right, like they both have had a phenomenal year, and their feud should be treated just like Cody's and Gunther's. I get it. It's 2 heels, just like you said, but one heel has to play less heel than the other, or one heel has to have some sort of morals about them.
But I feel like they're trying to both out heel each other.
Exactly.
I really do. And depending on which show they're on, I think Liv has gotten the better out of her once, and Nia's gotten the better out of her once, and then there's a tie on another one. So that's really good, but they still haven't been around each other enough for me to care. I really like the episode where Nia laid out Liv and then offered it up to Tiffany Stratton, because they don't play that role too much. That they always act like Tiffany can only go after Nia. Like, that's not true. She can go after any of the championships she wants to.
And I thought that when she brought that up, that was a brilliant plan, because be at home watching as well is like, that's right, she can.
And go after Tiffany. And understand, I mean, not Tiffany, Liv. And understand, I'm not saying they're going down this road, but one thing WWE's changed in the last, I'll say, 8 years, and they used to be like this, is they'll split up couples. Tiffany Stratton and her boyfriend are opposite shows.
Yep.
There's nothing to make her go to Raw so she can be with her boyfriend. Now, that being said, though, I want Nia to win, but I believe Liv is going to win. And this is the reason why I believe Liv is going to win. Nia has that feud with Naomi, who I guarantee is there, right, in Saudi Arabia. And she also has the on-again, off-again stuff with Tiffany, where they're good friends, and then she's looking at her strange. Tiffany can look like she's about to cash in on Nia, but actually trying to cash in on Liv, and that causes distraction because Nia thinks you're about to cash in on me. Are you trying to betray me? Which kind of distracts her for Liv to get the little cheating steal one win that WWE likes to do sometimes. Whereas Liv, despite what y'all say here with Judgment Day, her storyline has always been pretty much around the same person, and she just got injured. And that's Rhea Ripley, right? So it's just her and Raquel. There's no dissension with her and Raquel right now. There's not going to be any dissension with her and Raquel for some months if it ever happens. There's no distraction with her. I see Raquel helping her get the victory because they're more tight than Nia and Tiffany right now. So I'm going to go with Liv for the victory, but I want Nia to win because I think Nia deserves it more.
So so based off of what you're saying and what Shay had put it here in the comments, it sounds like it's whose story means more at this point and where we're about to go. And I want to say for the women right now, it doesn't look like it's that important. As
it's not that important for the WWE Women's Championship. It's not as important
until
Women's World Championship.
Rumble.
Correct.
Because Rumble would be the biggest, the next big one that they're counting. They're not really counting War Games because War Games we know what War Games is about.
Correct.
So I'll be surprised.
I'm interested to see what they're going to do as far as the women in that one.
Yeah.
Because the way I would look at it, the way I saw NXT, I'll move their ass up for that women's World Games match. Now, granted, they have this match in Philadelphia next Wednesday. And I'll say this, as much as I'm impressed with the women's division in NXT, and my God, I am, them 5 baby faces, I will put up against any combination of women out there, right? And the 5 heels, pale in comparison. And they're good. They're all talented. But we're talking about Zarya, Jordan Grace, Julia, Stephanie McKeer, and somebody I can't even remember right now.
Kalani Jordan?
No, yeah. Well, that's why I can't remember. Yeah, like Crush. It's the Crush. That's 96 US Dream Team, right? And 3 of them have only been in the company for less than 2 months. Zarya less than 2 days. I mean, it's just amazing. But yeah, I think Nia and Tiffany has a storyline that writes itself, whereas Liv, she doesn't have it. I say it all the time. Raw Women's Division is not as good as the SmackDown Women's Division. In my opinion, the SmackDown Women's Division arguably is the best one in wrestling right now. You can make arguments in NXT, and I won't even argue against you. But Raw's Women's Division revolves around Rhea, and it's been like that for like 2 years, in my opinion. Just Rhea. Liv.
And this is why I think that if the rumor is, and since we're talking about the women's match, let's go ahead and get into the rumor. Talent. Charlotte Flair is rumored to come back, and what you just said, they don't split up couples, and obviously she wants to be on the show with Andrade. However,
that's the only reason Andrade's going to push.
Raw needs her, and let's not forget that Liv and Charlotte do have a history, because before Liv got her little glow up, right before she got her improvement in the ring and her story and character. Remember, she was trying to go after Charlotte, and Charlotte, in the words of Bad Guy Jack, dominated her. And it forced Liv to cry on the outside of the ring. She had to go back to square one. And which she
sure that was Liv Morgan or Alexa Bliss?
Was it? No, it was Liv Morgan. I'm pretty sure it was Liv Morgan.
It was Alexa Bliss.
No, because Alexa was under the spell of Bray Wyatt at this time. So she wasn't even on that type of time.
Alexa Bliss,
if my memory serves me correct.
Charlotte beat up a doll.
It could be, but I believe that Charlotte would do much better on Raw as Raw's locker room is constructed for the women. Mm-hmm. If she gets on SmackDown and they still keep Tiffy time, they still keep Nia and Bayley and Naomi, Raw's in trouble.
Raw's in trouble. Raw's are in trouble. But I will say this: Liv has nothing going on outside of Rhea Ripley. Even though they have a lot of talented women on Raw, don't get me wrong, but they don't utilize them like that. Liv can go around with that Crown Jewel Championship, even though it's only going to be out for like a week or two, and say, "Oh, I'm the best, blah 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 blah," and it just gives her something to talk about until Rhea comes back, because Rhea's not going to be out as long as she was before. She'll be back in probably like a month. So, is
this the second orbital fracture that she's had storyline wise? I thought I heard her before, so I was confused when they actually said it, that she had an orbital fracture, and I was like, I thought she had that before as well, but I can't remember, or maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
Yeah, we'll see. But Nia's my sentimental favorite, but she has storylines with Tiffany and Naomi. Bayley's always going to be somewhere in there. We know Charlotte's coming back any moment, so.
You actually you might be right. So I am actually
she doesn't need to
side with you on the Liv side of things until we do the polls, and let me see what SmackDown has in store.
I will take the L if Liv loses. I have no problem with that, because I think Nia deserves it.
Let's get into
also understand on Raw, and we've been talking way too much about this match, and it's not like it's 5
I know.
Once.
I know.
Let me tell you something, because 14 minutes in, I can't believe this. Roxanne and Cora Jade are both getting called up very soon, within the next couple months, and they're going to Raw because Raw needs it.
Absolutely, I thought that Cora Jade should have been called up 2 months ago. She's done everything. I mean, after she got her I actually thought that she was going to get called up when Julia had debuted, because usually NXT, when they bring in a new lady or a new male, they get that debut, other person They're out. There's been reports that
That's what's happening.
Obafemi, it's been said that Obafemi had said his goodbyes after his match with Tony D'Angelo. So if he does, he definitely has to go to Raw. He has to go to Raw.
It's too soon.
And you know, the black wrestling internet community wants him to go and do something with a New Day. We don't need that.
We don't need
Odyssey Jones. No. We didn't need that. So
Odyssey was actually a good fit. Oh, but no, he needs to go out there. He needs to dominate. He needs to have a Brock Lesnar night after WrestleMania debut, in my opinion.
I agree.
Right now, you put him up there now, he's going to have to dominate a little bit. You still have Gunther up there, and it's a good problem to have, but it's a problem to have. We have so much over-talented individuals, and you're about to come up into your WrestleMania season, and you know you can't give everybody a spot, even with the 2 nights on. God, what a time.
Core, I agree, Shay. Core has definitely missed a lot of valuable time in which somebody like Roxanne Perez has used all of the time that she's had. I can't tell you, even for how young she is, and I'm not saying I'm like a wrestling expert, but for the eye test, she's improved in every single match. And the way that Booker T praises her, I know he's one of her students, but he's brought up a lot of really good quality wrestlers from his school. So I'm gonna take his word for it. As far as smoother. Roxanne is ready. Yeah,
Roxanne is smoother in the ring, and you can see it. Cora, and I know what Shay's primarily talking about. The match of Halloween Havoc was a very good match, but you can see Cora was the one that's a step behind everybody else in the ring, in my opinion. Everybody else was just so smooth in there, and she was just like a little sluggish. I'm going to test it on that to ring brush, but she's not as good. But when she is good, and I know, and trust me, we talked about this earlier off screen. Some of these people who live in Orlando, to the people who live in Orlando, obviously, are Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. I see them all the time in the club. So I can also tell you that Cora is up there at the club. Okay, they be partying with the 2 good dudes that be making me look small. But Cora is she's more confident, I will say, right? Roxanne is not as a confident individual as she portrays on screen, which is fine as long as she's on screen. Cora's a lot more confident.
I mean, clearly she's not as confident because she went and got a boob job. So, I will say that this Shay, dare I say Roxanne? Can we compare Roxanne's young trajectory? And I hate to do it. I was going to say AJ or Orton. Actually, she's so young and she's so good that it's scary. And Orton was this way at 24.
I can't say Orton. And the reason and I see why you would say Orton, but as Booker T said on Tuesdays a few times, and I said it so many times over the last couple of weeks, the landscape is changing. Roxanne is very good. She's going to make an impact. But who else do you have on the roster right now between all 3 rosters? You have, and listen to the names. And when I say names, don't listen to the names. Think about them when you picture them, right? People always talk about the sizes thing. I'm going to sizes. Bianca Belair, Nia Jax, Lash Legend, Rhea Ripley.
They're at least all 5'7" and up.
Yes, we're talking about some beautiful, big women. I'm not sure, and that's why I feel for Alexa Bliss when she comes back, because she'll be back sometime next 4 months. The landscape is changing. They are bringing in some heavy hitter women out there. I know he's not a fan, but Nikita Lyons, even Jada Parker, these are not small women. I'm not sure Roxanne Perez could be your world champion head figure amongst those kind of people. That's all I'm saying.
I think Jada on a main roster level can make it. I don't think Nikita can.
And that's fair. I'm just saying that I don't see, of all those ones I just mentioned, a year or 2 from now, let's say 2 years from now, because Bianca will still be there and stuff like that, unless she gets pregnant. But these 2, of all the women, can you say, oh, but your main one, your Stone Cold Steve Austin, your Rock, your Roman Reigns, is Roxanne Perez?
You could, because she doesn't have to be a Stone Cold Steve Austin, but let's not forget, Rey Mysterio was very successful in a time where he shouldn't have been. He was never the guy. No, you're absolutely right. He was never the guy.
In my opinion. Roxanne won't be the guy.
I get it. Moving on. Let's talk about this triple threat match. That's 20 minutes.
20 minutes in. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on pace for 140-minute show.
This doesn't need 20 minutes. We have Andrade, Carmelo Hayes challenging LA Knight in a triple threat match. And really, this had nothing to do with LA Knight. It was about trying to get to LA Knight. As far as the championship goes, or the number one contendership goes, we had a good best of 7 series going, and LA Knight took it upon himself and did some very heelish stuff, in which I talked about it last week on SmackDown Penitentiary, that he really didn't need to do. If we're talking about guys like who he wants to emulate in Stone Cold wouldn't have done this in the Attitude Era without provocation. What am I saying? Provocation. He wouldn't have done it. Like, I'm sorry, he wouldn't have done it. If everybody looks at LA Knight and says that he reminds them of a late Attitude Era, early Ruthless Aggression era type Rock or Stone Cold or whatever, they wouldn't have done this because they didn't need to. And I feel like this is what's a disconnect for me with LA Knight, because I feel like he tries too hard. He's pretending to play wrestler. Just wrestle. The catchphrases, all that stuff, it'll catch on. It always does. I believe in Joe Hendry did not catch on so easily. Let's not act like Joe Hendry was like it was catchy from the jump, right? LA Knight, did not catch on from the jump. It didn't. But I just feel like now that he's gotten where he's supposed to be, or where he should be as far as his career is, he's still trying too hard. And for me, it's a disconnect. I personally would like to see him lose. I don't think he will lose. But if I had to pick somebody he would lose to, I think it would be Andrade. Carmelo's right there, but Andrade is just a little bit better. He just can't talk.
But yeah, Charlotte Flair, which is why he's always going to be the conversation for something, because Charlotte has a lot of pull. You hear me say that a lot about certain people, Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair has a lot of pull.
I wish Bianca had the pull that Charlotte got, because Lord, we need Montez.
No, that's not. But see, Bianca's gone over and said that's not a Montez thing. I'm sorry, that's not a Bianca thing. That's a Montez thing. That's not.
No, yeah, he doesn't want to leave D'Angelo. He doesn't want to leave Dawkins behind. That's.
And Angelo is a solid performer. I would split them and put them with different rosters, and I would give Angelo a makeover as far as a gimmick or something that could possibly work for him. But Angelo is actually really solid in the ring. He just doesn't have what Montez has. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and say,
what up, G?
She does have pull, because that's why Lashley Legend and Jakara Jackson are on the main roster, right? That's her thing.
You know what? And as you say that, I would think that Kalani would have been called up a little bit, because Kalani had the moment with them. They didn't have the moment with them.
Correct. Kalani is needed in NXT still, and I hate to say it again because Vince is gone, so it's a different era. But the story is not. And I said this, and I talked to Bad Guy Jack about this the other day, so I would never say this on air. I'm going to say it on air anyway. She's my number one now because Samantha Irvin's gone. The story is not Jakara Jackson. The story is Lashley Legend. That's who they want to push.
She's next.
Jakara Jackson's just there for the ride because that's who she was with at the time. But the story is Lashley Legend. So what the presentation was, they see some money in Lashley Legend. Kalani, they still want to work with a little bit. But as I said before, if you look at those 5 women next week, Kalani doesn't stand out as much as the other 4. And I actually like Kalani Jordan. I'm not against her. I'm a fan of her. But she doesn't. I'm sorry. She's good though. Hi guys.
You're absolutely. I have to agree with you. You're absolutely right. It's George something Lewis about her character. No one asked for,
because I guess he thinks no one watched NXT.
I mean, you can say that, but still, we can say the same thing about Joe Hendry after what he's done for NXT. We can say that
next year,
right? But I think after him losing at Bound for Glory, this past weekend, in which a lot of fans are upset about, we could say that about him, but I can't.
Tremendous cap.
I don't see why you would go from TNA to NXT. Like, NXT is so much better because TNA is supposed to be a main roster type thing. Where I'm going.
It's okay.
So TNA, you've already made it. You've already been a world champion. If we're looking at when they talk about wrestling accolades, they're treating TNA like a major promotion. when we acknowledged AJ Styles before he even came to when he came to WWE, they acknowledged TNA as a major
They're still doing
corporation.
it.
So
you hear them talk about TNA champions on SmackDown now.
Well, it would seem to me personally, it would seem like a downgrade for a guy like Joe Hendry. And same with Jordynne Grace. I think Jordynne Grace is absolutely ready. We saw her get her moment in the Rumble when she and Naomi had that moment in the ring, and they tore the house down a month and a half before at Bound for Glory. So I think that it's evident that Jordynne Grace shoots straight to the main roster, but I wouldn't be opposed to her stopping at NXT and just kind of paying homage or putting somebody else over. But I think she immediately goes to the main roster.
And I can see what you're saying, but I'm still going to put the NXT over TNA because more eyes are on the product. I can't say that about AEW. I think AEW is over NXT. Yeah, that was tough to say, but. It's the truth, though. But I mean, we'll talk and we'll tell you about it. But let's go ahead and continue on because
let's get into the meat and bones.
I think LA Knight wins. I want LA Knight to win because I want him away from Carmelo and Andrade. I want him on to something else with that U.S. title. But I wouldn't be surprised if Melo walks away with the championship.
That would be crazy work. Let's get into some meat and bones of this PLE. And I want to start with Monsters Revenge, as you have named it. Bronson Reed versus Seth freaking Rollins. And what's the stipulation on this match? It's not a regular match, right?
You know what? And the chat can help us out because I don't remember.
But was it a last man stand?
But they have so many. No, it's not last man stand. But they have so many brawls with these two. You would think it has to be more than just a one-on-one regular match. But I think that's all they announced it as is a one-on-one regular match.
Huh. I thought I heard something. I thought I heard something there that said it was a different kind of match, but
it should be.
Nonetheless, I'm going to go with. I don't. Fuck. I'm going to go with Bronson. I think you continue to keep him strong, because if Seth beats Bronson, the next big thing that we have, I think that they're surpassing War Games for most of the roster. So the next big thing we have is Rumble. I think that Bronson beats Seth. Seth will get his revenge in eliminating Bronson from the Rumble. This is bearing anything significant happens between now and then. But I'm going to go with Bronson Reed, and I don't really feel Bronson Reed. Pause. I don't really care for him still. I know that Mike loves him. He's calling him the next Vader, and I'm not seeing any of that shit. That's disrespectful to Vader and people like and Bam Bam Bigelow. Like, I'm not putting him in that same category. He's done nothing. He's influenced nothing. Stone Cold nothing, as The Rock would say. I'm not putting him there. But I will take him over. I will take him over Seth just for this specific match, but I don't think the feud ends there, though.
Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed, it is all down to Bronson Reed because they really like him. They really want to push him. They've been trying to push him since the beginning of this year. I've never been a fan of Bronson Reed. Even in his NXT run, you saw my struggle with him at the NXT Top 5 draft a couple of minutes ago. If you haven't watched it, check it out on our YouTube, UPR Wrestling.
Hell of a draft.
He's boring, right? He's boring. And people act like he's not, but he's boring. And the reason how come he's boring is because he's boring. He's been more interesting the last 2 weeks, 2 months. But how many times, hear me out, how many times can you have him come out and get into a pull-apart brawl with somebody? That's what makes him interesting. If he's not out there and they have Adam Pearce come out there, get out of here, with 14 security officers and officials. You take that part away, he's boring as freak, bro. Right? All his greatest moments, if we were having top 5 draft of Bronson Reed moments, they will all be him backstage. or him giving somebody 6 tsunamis or something. That's it. You can't name a match.
No,
maybe the last man standing match with
that's it.
Braun Strowman, but that's it.
That's all he's done.
That's his interest.
Yeah.
He just doesn't do it. He loses to Seth Rollins. He dominates the match, and then Seth Rollins up and gives him a curve stomp. 1, 2, 3.
You know what, Shay?
I like they did.
I understand where Shay is trying to say here, but at the same time, they still don't even know what to do with big meaty men. Pause. They
don't know what to do with any man. Unless his name is
Cage,
Jon Moxley,
Lance Archer. Those are three murders.
Hold on, just a second. What wrestler do they know how to use well in AEW?
The small guys, the small ones.
Like who?
What's his name? Commander.
Commander.
So,
ladies and gentlemen, just a second.
He gets a lot of shine.
No, just a second. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how you know the Dice watches Rampage.
We went.
Because where everybody else took off the glasses and did because he said Commander. Dice is like, what do you mean not Commander? Because he watches Rampage, right? No one else watches Rampage.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm a pro wrestling fan. There's nothing wrong with that.
AEW doesn't know how to use any wrestler correctly. Not one.
Unless they already have a buzz.
The only wrestler I would say they know how to use correctly is Christian. That's it.
I think that Christian is right in his pocket. I think Christian is right where he needs to be.
Bronson Reed dominates the match, gets a couple curve stomps, probably one from the top rope, ends up losing the match, lays out Seth Rollins either tonight or Monday Night Raw for the 14th pull apart this month because that's Triple H's Monday Night Raw. Triple H, ever since he took over Monday Night Raw, has been nothing but pull aparts. Everybody's fighting outside. Let's empty out the locker room and keep these men apart. If we talk about NXT in the parking lot, I want to talk about Monday Night Raw's backstage area because Monday Night Raw's backstage area is never safe. Somebody's always going to get blindsided or cheap shotted or something. That's what happens.
Okay. Now, we want to get in this fourth match. We want to take a quick commercial break.
Oh, go ahead and take a quick commercial break. We need to reset because I'm trying to figure out how somebody says Commander is pushed correctly. Like, I'm not over that.
He gets a lot. First of all, you don't watch.
I know you ain't going to tell me he gets a loud pop. I know you ain't going to tell me that.
No, I'm not. First of all,
how you get a loud pop for 4 people?
Because apparently you watch wrestling with your TV down, or y'all don't acknowledge it.
No.
Oh,
I know why you say that. I know why you say that because I did see Commander come out. And I didn't hear anything, and I thought it was a mute. I was like, "Oh no, it's just him coming out." Let's go ahead and take a commercial break.
All right,
let's reset.
Let's take a quick commercial break. Y'all, we'll be back with the last 4 matches of this PLE, in which we are way over time. But anyway, stay tuned.
Welcome to the SmackDown Penitentiary.
No, it's not because I'm reminded that this is not the Monday Night Raw show, right? So I'm giving y'all your show back. But at the end of the day, I'm City Exec Consultant. I'm just going to tell you what I feel. I lied. No, there's no way in hell they got a pop. They got no pop. Like, just no. You know, actually, I'm glad that Dice did that because when Motor City Machine Guns came out, exactly what Dice did, half the crowd did. They walked up and they went to that. Like, I don't know what Dice was watching. I don't know what Dice was listening to. They did not get a pop. And Solo cooked them on the microphone. That was the best thing that happened. Solo absolutely cooked them on the freaking microphone.
Yeah,
I've never seen you
better.
walk out twice. Why did you walk out twice? Oh, I know why. Because what happened was
Solo Sikoa trashed them on the microphone. Are you kidding me?
100%.
All he said.
100%.
No, don't cut me off. All that man says, "Oh, way to make an impact." That was the most cheesiest shit.
I'm not talking about that.
On a fucking microphone. I'm not trying to hear that.
Stop. What's his name? I get it.
No,
just a second. What's one of the names?
No, it's not no more. Just a second. Stop. Stop. It's not what we're doing now.
That gets old. I mean, I paid a fucking bill. Look, it's crazy.
No, can we get on with our show?
No, because I'm giving you my opinion on what happened.
When they went together.
So, there you go. So just on the Motor City Machine Guns. Just a second.
Yes, they've been.
Yeah,
No. Just a second.
They've been Ring of Honor champions. They've been.
Here's my point. This is why they got no pop last night, right? No pop whatsoever, because no one knows who they are. No one knows who they are. Yeah, they were on there 3 times. What the fuck? No one knows who they are. They showed up last week on SmackDown. All of a sudden, now they had a mid match with them.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was a clip from last week's diabolical show in which EC decided that since he was not on Raw Review Show, that he was going to literally take over everybody's show with the hashtag just a second. Now, there's an inside joke here, started by me and Barbara, that every time you hear EC say just a second, take a shot. If you're drinking water, take a shot. I'm literally drinking alcohol, and I've drunk what I had was a fourth of this bottle gone. That's just from that's just from the draft that we did. Now I done finished it off. So now I'm on a Monaco right now.
I can see why you finished it off, right? Because you watch the commercial with the Motor City Machine Guns, right? And every time I see the Motor City Machine Guns, I see Alex Shelley's face. I want to take a shot. Let's go ahead and talk about
what does that mean?
What? I like he's so annoying.
You over here just okay? So if you out here judging men's looks, just say you out here judging men's looks. That's a handsome man. I'm a heterosexual man. That's a handsome man. I'm just saying. It is what it is.
I'm a heterosexual male also, right? I'm an LGBTQ plus ally. Matter of fact, I'm probably about to go to
my brother is
a gay club in probably like an hour. But I will say this:
to admit that is crazy work. But go ahead, keep going.
Hey, I have no problem admitting it. No problem admitting it. I've been to some of the best gay clubs in the country because they get me drunk. Which I probably should say that out loud because then people are like, well, when do they get drunk? But anyway, that's a conversation for Vincent. I'm just saying, the man, I can't stand his face.
Is it a Band-Aid like Nelly that hasn't healed in 12 years?
I wish he put a Band-Aid on his face. Look,
I'm
not over the fact that you said AEW knows how trouble you, right? Because that's what I'm going to call it. From now on,
which I coined that
trouble
first.
you is only going to be called.
No, I coined that first.
From this moment on, I'm only going to refer to AEW as AE trouble you or the Wackness.
You know what? I think at this point, I thought Mike was crazy, but he is actually right. You do hate anything that is not WWE.
That's not true.
There's no
just a second. I just said right that since I can't make it this weekend in New York, I'm going to try and go December. Why? Because I want to go to a Major League Wrestling promotion.
What?
Major League Wrestling.
Yeah, for what though?
Because I like Major League Wrestling.
Why?
Because I like it. It's a good product.
What makes you like MLW?
They have good matches.
Just the matches.
And they know their lane.
Just the matches, right? Just the matches.
I like some of the wrestlers.
You couldn't tell me their storyline right now. You couldn't tell me any storyline of ML. Okay,
you would be right.
So if AEW does the same thing, you will slash AEW.
I can't tell you. I just watched Dynamite last night. I can't tell you a storyline.
Okay. All right.
Let me tell you what happened in the Wackness last night. This is what happened on the Wackness last night, right? Here's what happened. They had a package again, right? Pause. They had a package again. John Moxley came out and talked for 5 to 10 minutes about destroying the company. For what reason, we don't know. All right, and this is why. You know what? He had an interview where he talked about how he hated what Vince McMahon gave him when he turned heel. But he's talking the same nonsense that he's talking now. He's having this package he's talking about. Orange Cassidy comes out, and I'm a huge Orange Cassidy fan. Big Orange Cassidy fan. He comes out there, and this is what he does to me. I kid you not. This is exactly what this man does to me.
No, don't you put the Steve. I knew
it. And I'm like, Orange, come on, Orange. Come on, man. Give it to me. Come on, give me something, right? Give me something. I was like, oh my God. If somebody don't cut this man's microphone, will come out and hit. That's what I was doing when he was talking. And I wanted somebody to go out there and put a bag over his face and just squeeze, right? I couldn't stand it. So that's one thing that happens, right? Here's the next thing that happens. It was Camille versus Chris Statlander, right? Who I think is going to WWE soon. Chris Statlander. Camille comes up. No, it's not Camille.
Fix that.
No, it's not Camille. Oh yeah, she's definitely good. She's WWE bound. Here comes.
I hope so.
The CEO, Sasha Banks, comes out. I'm like, oh, I didn't know she was in this match. Oh no, here comes Camille, right? Here comes Camille. Oh, we're going to get to Kyle Fletcher. So Sasha comes out, and then Camille wrestles Chris Statlander, and they give Chris Statlander the victory. Why? Because they have to build her to look strong, even though she be Camille. They have to make her look strong because Sasha Banks has to be the one to beat her, right? Because Sasha has to beat everybody. Good for you, Sasha. Then Don Collins comes out. Here's a heat magnet, and this is exactly what he said.
Because it's Shay.
Hold on. Why don't correct me if I'm wrong? this is why I heard Don Callis said, hey, I know y'all all like hearing me talk because y'all boo the hell out of me, but I decided since y'all bought tickets, we're going to make you suffer by listening to Kyle Fletcher speak. And I'm like, wow, Don, thank you for being honest. Thank you for being honest. He gives the microphone to Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher says, I did it for The Rock. I did it. So he's saying that shit. And then all of a sudden, here comes his former tag team partner. And while everybody's Googling, who is this clown, right? Because that's what's going on. Who is this clown? He does some talking, and he goes out the Royal Parkway. So I'm like, all right, fine. Then John Moxley comes out here with Roderick Strong's wife because they're not fucking in the back or anything, right? Remarkable relationship says, oh, it's fine, right? The three clowns are just waiting on the steps. They get on the ring. John Moxley talks a whole bunch of nonsense, and then they attack poor Wheeler Yuta, the butt of the. Remember how I used to talk about Camacho to be the bitch? Well, guess what Wheeler Yuta is? All right. So go ahead.
Why did y'all get him started?
They start beating his ass. Here comes Orange Cassidy's toothpick ass, right? He says, you know what? I need to redeem myself from that promo earlier. So I'm going to go in there in this 5-on-1. Then the entire whackness locker room comes out. Then the executive vice president say, let me come out there too. Because it makes sense. Private Party is the only ones to stay in the ring. They have this match. Private Party, who don't deserve the titles, in my opinion, they win. Cool, good for them.
Why did y'all get him started? What is going on?
Just see the back. They're shredding documents, right? They're shredding documents. Hey, rumor has it. I don't know. Hey, somebody fact check me. Rumor has it. Warner Brothers sent them their cancellation papers, and they were trying to shred them in the back. That they're not going to be on TV anymore. And then they leave. You know how the CEO tries to get rid of all the evidence when you find out they're embezzling money? They left faster than them, right? And they're gone. They're gone. I don't even remember what the main event of the show was. It was that bad.
How long have you been holding that in? Like,
oh
how
my
many
God.
hours you been holding that in?
Adam Page has an interview backstage. He's facing Jay White for the 29,000th time. Oh, I know what happened. Here comes Swerve Strickland versus I've been here for 3 weeks and I'm undefeated. 50-year-old Shelton Benjamin.
Oh my God.
He beat Shelton Benjamin like we ain't see that coming, right? Because we're building Shelton Benjamin up as this big monster. Okay, man. Go ahead and get the cane, right? Brother Ray Dudley says, get the tables. Shelton Benjamin says, go get my cane. Anyway, he looks good, though, for 50 years old. I hope I look that good. Shout out to you. He loses the match. MVP makes a phone call. I'm thinking he's like Paul Heyman. He's like, call Bobby Lashley. Well, I'm glad he called Bobby Lashley because then all of a sudden the lights turn off. And I'm like, okay, Undertaker, let's go. Lights come back on. There's no Bobby Lashley. Lights go back out. Here comes Bobby Lashley's ass, right? He comes out there looking like the strongest, dopest Barty I've ever seen in my life, right? Only red. And he decides to beat up fucking Swerve Strickland. And they're like, oh, we're back in business, right? Mind you, I'm happy to see Bobby Lashley. And he was happy. Bobby Lashley was happy. He was like, oh, man, it's nice to see you 2,000 fans. I made the right choice. That's what he's saying.
Oh, my God.
Hey, shout out to AEW for learning how to book an arena and cutting it into a quarter of the arena so it makes it look like it's full. Good job for you, right? I can barely see that you're missing all the other section of the arena. Great. Also, nobody talks about the fact that MVP is the most racist piece of shit out there, right? Every black wrestler in AEW, he's approached with his business card. He approached Ricochet. He approached Private Party. He approached Sasha Banks. He goes to all these black people.
He should have approached Scorpio Sky.
Give him a second. He's going to find Scorpio Sky. He goes up to him and hits him. He goes up there and as fast as Mr. Man says, "What's up, G?" He gives him his business card and says he's going to call. MVP only wants black people in the business.
Listen, I wanted you to go off, but you literally went off on AEW for 7 seconds. Hey, Shay, there it is again. 7 minutes. That man went off on AEW on a WWE program. I
just told you everything that happened literally on AE Trouble You last night. If you don't believe me, go look. I'm telling you,
it actually was a good show. Tell me you hate AEW without saying you hate AEW because even people that don't like AEW said that was still a very decent show. You didn't even give it credit. You didn't even give it 1 out of 5 stars. You gave it like
I give it a 1.5.
Okay, now let's move on to the rest
of
the
pop. He got a pop. You just didn't hear it because there's only like 17 people there.
No, he got a pop. It was definitely a pop. What are you missing? All these messages that I had to put on the screen because you.
I was not paying attention, right? Chris Sandler does me so easy.
No,
Kyle got the it factor. The buzz cut activated it up here. Kyle Fletcher does not have the it factor. Oh, actually, you know what? You're right.
Does.
You're right. No, take that picture down. He does have the it factor. Because is it the movie, a horror movie, right? Because every time Kyle Fletcher microphone, I get scared. So you're right. He does have the it factor. I give you that. Okay, good. Let's keep going. Playing this peanut is crazy, Jeffrey. Chris Harris, you need your own comedy special. Everything I said was the truth, though. I didn't tell you jokes. You played the commercial. This is on you. Prior party for sure. Dessert. No, they didn't. No, they
didn't. They did.
Let me ask you a question, right? First of all, they come out and they flex, right? They flex. How is Isaiah flexing if he has no muscles?
Young Bucks do it.
Does Leon, the Young Sucks? You're right. Does Leon Ruff go out there and flex? No. Private Party didn't deserve to win.
From the Temptations?
A month and a half ago, what's Private Party doing?
The same thing. They've been beefing with the Bucks for 2 months. What are you talking about?
They haven't been doing shit.
Yes,
they've been backstage and catering. They come out there. They come out there. They have the little rope thing because they're a part of the club. The one security officer that AEW hires, they do the little, and then they start humping the air, right? And then Zay comes out there and does this like he got some muscles. That's why Tony Schiavone thought it was cool. He's like, if he don't have any muscles, I can do it too.
What?
And it had
how much of AEW have you watched in the past 2 months? I want you to be honest here. Not catch a glimpse, not occasionally. How much have you actually watched?
I watch AEW Dynamite every week.
Front to back.
I watch AEW Dynamite every week. And I watch AEW Rampage every time I go outside and pass my trash can. Let's see. Bobby Lashley, MVP called Bobby Lashley. Be the Prince Nana. Prince Nana. Oh, he's a great manager, right? He did so much last night. Hey, you know what? I want Prince Nana as my manager because that man knows how to fill a bag of a cup of coffee, and that man knows how to dance and does absolutely nothing else.
Okay.
Bobby going to propose him and Swerve get into a real fight at Walgreens soon enough. Oh, please don't let Bobby do creative. I've heard his ideas. It's not working. He should approach Hobbs. Chris Harris get his own comedy special. Thank you. I applaud you, EC. Thank you. Stop arguing with me about who has it, EC. You lose this argument with me every time. Shay.
Thank you.
You think Ethan Page is a good NXT champion?
He is. Listen, first of all, now we have amassed 7 minutes of AEW talk into 10 minutes.
Leo Rush wrestled Shelton, and because of that, Shelton's like one of the greatest wrestlers out there, right? Because he beat Leo Rush. Rush.
We're talking mat wrestlers. We're talking about technical wrestlers.
No, mat wrestling. He is. He's up there. He's up there. No, I give you that all the credit. But they made him to be. This man was a jobber in WWE. Why was Matthew Jackson have pearls in his hair look like
he's always had them since they changed their gimmick over? Yes, poor. Thank you, bad guy. I wish you didn't leave. I wish you didn't leave. Now let's get into the rest of this card because we took a commercial break 12 minutes ago. 12 minutes ago, we took a commercial break because we were at the halfway
point. Ladies and gentlemen, just a
second.
I want to apologize for my co-host here because he's supposed to be He's supposed to be hosting this show and he just let it go completely off the rails. Right? We're supposed to be talking about WWE Crown Jewel. Let's talk about AEW. I don't know what's going on.
I will explain to everybody the same way that I explained to my boss at work. My boss is my boss, but she's remotely my boss. But the owner is in the office with me every single day and signs my checks. I'm going to do what the owner wants to do. So if the executive consultant is the guy who's the head, he's our fearless leader. He wants to talk about AEW. Who am I to tell him no? But if you're going to keep interrupting me with just a second, we're going to shut that shit down if it's on the SmackDown.
What's the next match?
But this is not the SmackDown Penitentiary. Now, next match, as I was so rudely interrupted, un momento times.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Of course. Grudge match. Kevin Owens, Randy Orton. The build up to this was great. However, the granting of the match, I didn't agree with. I didn't care for.
Just a second. You didn't like Triple H?
Oh my God!
I'm trying. You didn't like Triple H once again getting airtime?
No, it was trash.
Hey, let me tell you something. Triple H has never met a hill he didn't put himself over. Like he just had to be involved in the storyline, right? Just had to be. Had to be.
I want to say. Mm-hmm. It was fine, the what he said, but the execution of it was a little bit like knowing that Crown Jewel is like the next week and the week before he says, "Oh yeah, Kevin is he's dangerous. I'm protecting you from him." Like, come on, it's Randy fucking Orton. That's all I'm saying. It was a little. I thought they melded in on that one. That's all I'm saying.
Hold on. You're protecting him.
What?
I'm about to recreate SmackDown. You ready? This is how the promo went. All right, just a second. Are you ready?
Go ahead.
You're protecting him. You're protecting him.
Is that it?
I think you're protecting him.
So who are you taking in the match?
I think you're protecting Kevin Owens from me. You're protecting him. Randy Orton's never been a promo guy, ever, right? Because he can't remember so many lines at one time. That's why
I beg to differ.
No, that's fine. For you to be wrong. Look.
No, I'm not. If you're going to sit here and tell me the promos that he had with AJ Styles, the promos that he had with CM Punk, the promos that he had with Edge.
I'm not saying he's bad at promos, but he can only remember a certain amount. He's better at bulletin points, right? And then he trips up. That's why he repeats it. If you pay attention to a lot of promos, he starts repeating himself. He goes fast. He tries to catch himself, much like Roman Reigns. I agree. Ethan Page. See, I'm surprised you ain't walked off yet. George says crazy logic. Kevin Owens must win. Kevin Owens has
I've been wanting to walk off,
but at the same time, Randy Orton has
20
not won a match on a PLE all year. I think the smart money is Randy Orton takes the victory. Kevin Owens ends his life. Randy Orton takes a break.
Okay. I'm going to go with Kevin. Kevin needs this more. It's going to be a cheap victory though. It's going to be a very cheap victory. Moving on to, let's go to this women's tag match. We have Bianca and Jade versus Metaphor versus Damage Control versus Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. Can't even say that the same anymore. Samantha Irvin, you fucked us over.
Well, Alicia, just a second. Alicia Taylor says
it. Trash. She saw she got testosterone in her throat.
How dare you?
Trash.
How dare you?
Trash.
His life.
Who are we? Who are you going with here?
Black Girl Magic still wins this, and I know there's two different teams of Black Girl Magic here.
Okay,
the original, but Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair are still going to walk away. They're doing for that tag team division what a lot of people before them wanted to do, and that's put eyes on the product. Mostly because they have Bianca Belair, and she still, as I said before, is the face of the company.
Last Legend said on Twitter that they did her makeup, they did her Photoshop
She-Hulk.
looking like She-Hulk.
She-Hulk, yeah.
I actually am going to agree with you. Until there's just not a formidable opponent for these two women. However, we have to start getting this is prime season for storylines.
Actually, I can do that now. Because this man here, right? This man here was on NXT. Like, hold Dice, I'm putting you over. I'm putting you over.
Not
Triple H.
you over. You're not.
No, you're not.
You're not.
I'm putting you over. I'm about to put you over. You were on NXT. You did a phenomenal job with the wrestling doll on Tuesday because Jack couldn't make it.
The tag
and
team
he can attest to it. Hey, call me if I'm lying. Ethan Page came out, right? Bored up the NXT crowd. He was so boring. Sean said, Rich Holland, get out there. Rich was like, you want me to go out there? Sean was like, yeah. I need somebody to put some interest out there. Rich says, but you know I'm Rich Holland, right? Sean said, anybody got to be better than Ethan. So they put Rich Holland out there to try to make it more interesting. Never thought it would happen because Rich Holland is about as entertaining as my toilet paper I have right here to blow my nose. So I was like, it's really bad. It's really bad. Anyway, I just had to say that. Okay, now we can go back.
Okay. Grand Slam, if you're coming on, put your camera on, please. I'm sorry, y'all. I just spit out all of everything.
I just want to make sure I can be heard. I didn't want to interrupt the show because you guys are doing a fantastic job. Well, not EC, because every time I know you want to. Because you want to get through.
Time about. You sound like a truck driver right now. Move the mic just a little bit away.
He also looks like it. You see
move the microphone. Yeah. Move the. What microphone are you using? Is it the one by your mouth or is it the one like?
Tell me, what does it sound like?
It sounds like you're using the one by your mouth.
Oh, then how about now?
There you go. That's perfect.
Okay, cool. That's all I needed to do. No, because you guys are doing a fantastic job. I know you want to get through Crown Jewel, and he's talking about everything from AEW to NXT to TNA to ECW. Executive Consultant, continue to be on Crown Jewel, please. Let's do that. I think you're doing. Hey, everybody! I see Jeff saying hi, Jack. What's going on? Yeah, I'm sorry. I got this from Amazon. I'm sorry, Miss Sawyer, but I got it from Amazon. But no, the executive consultant, you're doing a terrible job, and you suck. Okay, keep.
It's the second time I got chastised this week. First by Mike and him. I don't understand. Like how am I in trouble? I'm the executive consultant.
What match were we talking about? I want to keep talking about this thing. We're talking about Crown Jewel.
We're talking about
You can't even figure it out. I already see the dementia kicking in.
Hear me out.
No.
Rich Holland came out and said, because no, Ethan.
Are you coughing? Are you coughing on air?
Ethan Page came out and said, "I'm boring." And Rich Holland said, "Hold my beer." and then both of them had a match. You didn't see it on air, but both had a match of who can be more boring between us, right? And then Bully said, "I've had enough." Like he came out before his cue and everything. He said, "I can't take anymore." Cooked them both. Ethan Page is just backstage. You know, hey Shay, if you don't think I don't agree, Bully said it himself. He said, "You don't deserve nothing." Right? Yeah. And I stood up and clapped. I said, "There you go, Bully. There you go, my man." Bully ain't never said facts that hard before. Last week, Trick Williams did the same thing. No, last week, Trick Williams hit him with the "What you gotta say, player?" And he turned around and walked.
Listen, the problem, Jack, that I'm having here, right, is one, EC is our fearless leader, right? Two, he's talking stuff that literally distracts you because he's making jokes. I don't know if he's a stand-up comedian or if he's an analyst.
I'm making points. You know it to be true, right? That's you don't want to admit it. You don't want to admit it because it's not cool to agree with the EC. But you know damn well everything I say is fact.
There's nothing wrong with Ethan Page. Ethan Page has been so necessary because as soon as Carmelo left, there was no top heel there. Ethan Page he's necessary for NXT. He's been a great champion. Oh my God!
So you probably think I'm doing this because I think you're boring. You're not boring. You've never been boring.
I'm not boring. I know that I'm not boring. Listen, I know that I'm not boring because at the end of the year when we do the awards, if I don't get top host or funniest host, there is a conniption against the almighty Dice Man. That's all I got to say about that. I should have got it last year, but I went on hiatus. That's what I want to say. You slid by the skin of your teeth. The both of you.
Both of you. Ethan Page shirts do you own?
Don't get me this damn how many shirts of people that you like do you own? Absolutely not. Do not do this to me. Listen, no. No. All right.
Bad guy Jack had to leave. He couldn't do it. He couldn't handle it.
He's going to a Halloween party.
He said, "This man ruined my damn hair." Oh my God! Liv Morgan's a two-time world championship, but if you listen to EC, you would have been led astray a few years back. Let it go. Let it go. All right, let's talk about what's the next match. So get control of your show. Oh, this is
it's my show. It's my show.
Here's a real banger. All right.
Cody Rhodes versus Gunther for the first ever Crown Jewel Championship in a champion versus champion match. In which this is trash. This is trash compared to what we should have got last year. If they brought this belt out last year, we would have got Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns, and they dropped the ball on this. But I'm going to say that WWE's poster child, their golden boy in Cody Rhodes, somehow gets the victory only because
I haven't had a drop to drink.
only because if Kevin Owens wins, that means that Cody will win based off of where they're at right now.
Yeah. So, you know the most memorable part about this feud? Two men come
blue
out.
Suits they both had on?
No. Close. Two men come out. And they're standing in front of another guy. And then they open up a case and you see the Crown Jewel Championship. And
truthfully, I'm the one that's been drinking.
And they do this every Raw and SmackDown like somebody gives a damn. Right? That's the most memorable thing about this feud. They don't know what they want to do with these two. They have backstage promos. They have promos where they come out and they say, hey, I respect you and I like you. Then they have other promos where Cody hits Gunther because he can't handle the truth, right? Gunther said, hey, we're fighting for this championship. Why are you mentioning your daughter?
Yeah.
And Cody said,
yeah, you know what? I gotta agree because I said that on the penitentiary that he flamed him with that because it's what Cody does every single time. Every feud that he's been in, he's always reverting to some part of his family, whether it's his mom, his brother, his daddy, and now it's his daughter.
Yeah.
Brandy Rose is next. Her fine.
Cody said, damn it, you found out my formula. So he had to stop him immediately. Now, I think they're going to put on a good match, though. In all fairness, I think they're going to put on a good match, but I do see Cody win it. I want Gunther to win it. I think Gunther needs it. But I think Cody's going to win it because I think he shouldn't know.
Bad guy, you have absolutely the most perfect timing because I'm glad that you're here. As I'm about to ask this question that I asked EC before we went on air.
Sure.
What is the over under that my guy Bill Goldberg shows up to confront?
What the fuck, Bill? What the fuck, Z? You know I don't want to talk about. Let me tell you something. If I see one Bill Goldberg on my air, on TV, wherever I'm at and whatnot, I might just blow a goddamn gasket and whatnot. So you ask me, Z pretends to be your friend here. He sit here and acts like he cares and stuff. I thought we did a great show, the top 5, and you're gonna ask me something like that? My blood pressure just went through the goddamn roof, Z. You know what makes me mad, Z? Executive consultant, shut up. You know what makes me even extra mad? My mother, my mama, she gave birth to me. She likes Bill Goldberg.
Well,
she has told me.
She's the only person that can give birth to you.
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought I was magically just brought up. But all I sit here and say is that when she told me, oh, yeah, I like that Bill Goldberg guy, I said, man, I really must have messed up as a kid. I really didn't do everything right. And you're laughing, you're giggling. I know everyone enjoys this, but this upsets me. But if Bill Goldberg wants to get in the ring with one to Gunther, I hope Gunther just dominates him. And that's what there's every consultant, please stop talking, please. You're doing too much. Just calm down. You're bothering me.
If they cannot get Brock Lesnar to a early commitment to WrestleMania, Bill Goldberg absolutely shows up on Saturday. That's my prediction.
And he can. And you know what? Gunther should powerbomb him and he turned to dust. Gold dust. There we go.
Thanos?
Yes, there we go. He doesn't even snap his fingers. He just power bombs him to dust. There we go. I would love for Gunther to just do that to a few people. We power bombed him to dust. I would love all of that. Executive, you're doing too much. Please stop talking. Just a second. I'm so upset right about now. I'm very.
On behalf of Unpopular Review, I would like to apologize for Bad Guy Jack's rants. That took up so much time. Like I don't.
You mean the 12 minutes that you took up trashing AEW? What are you talking about?
Just a second. Bad Guy Jack came on the show. Bombard took over and went on a rant for no reason.
You have a cold in Florida. Shut up. I don't want to hear anything from you ever again. Please. Your immune system is weak. Your fashion sense is weak. Honestly, you suck.
Well, I'm glad to see you been going to Adam Cole's gym. All right, so
if we had a match, I would dominate you easily. I would wreck you in a match, please. I would fucking wreck you.
The final match of the night would go to what everybody is probably those in America that are going to Saudi Arabia are going to see. The greatest storyline in professional wrestling history, the OG bloodline versus the current bloodline. Solo, Jimmy, Roman, spoiler alert, they actually reconnect and they agree to go to Saudi Arabia to face Solo, Tama Tonga, and Jacob Fatu.
Is it Jacob?
EC's guy is not there in Tamaloa.
But he's the one that's there, but I refuse to show him.
I mean, he's not. No, he's not. He's not considered to be in the match according to WWE.com.
You sure?
However, that's what this is from.
Okay, all right, cool. Well, I guess they recognize the Camacho, ain't it?
Oh my god. But for those of you, I don't want to give away any spoilers, and we tried so hard to not do it last week. However, we already know as wrestling fans what happens tomorrow. I have to get with Vic and figure out if we're gonna do SmackDown after SmackDown goes off to avoid the overcrash of professional wrestling on a Saturday, or actually do it Saturday morning to give you guys probably earlier in the Saturday morning. But anyways, the bloodline, the round one of the bloodline feud. Who are we going with? I'm going to start with you, Great Grand Slam Pooba, because we already know that we will be here another 12 minutes if Executive Consultant starts, because he'll go into something else that has nothing to do with the bloodline.
The Executive Consultant have the same hairline as Son Patrick Thomas or whatever. I'm glad someone got that reference. Thank you. I didn't think anyone remembered him. Thank you.
That's the dude from Save the Last Dance.
Yes, thank you. I actually love that movie, by the way. Thank you. See, this, even though he has increased my blood pressure, I'm glad that someone got that reference. Thank you.
Okay, listen. I'm no longer Eggman. I am now Knuckles.
No, yeah.
I'm Knuckles.
I think you're more Shadow. I think you match me with Shadow. I'm Sonic, you're Shadow.
Okay.
The Executive Consultant, he's the palm tree from Green Hill Zone. Thank you. I love all of this. I
manicured nails.
But you know who I actually do? I do got. I know everyone's calling him the Tamu bloodline, but I do see Solo and they should get the dub. They should, because you're gonna have a match.
Tamu, right?
You know what? I was gonna let him, as Shay was saying, I was gonna let him eat, and then I was gonna cook him. You know, but you had to interrupt.
The Executive Consultant, you talked about the last show about how
just a second. This man just said Tamu, right? Like you're a SeaWorld or something. No, it is.
I am at SeaWorld. I'm at SeaWorld because when I see you, I'm like, this is terrible.
The drown. All right, look, just go ahead.
I can't swim. I'm glad that you let me continue, because you're not going to cook me any kind of way because you're on MTV3. Yeah. But I do see Solo and his bloodline winning, and they should win. They should totally get the dub. Matter of fact, what I would do in this match, I would have Solo pin Roman. And that's when Roman goes like, I really, really need help. They're going to have a match. They're going to be in War Games. It's going to be Bloodline against Bloodline Survivor Series. I'm going to say SummerSlam. And I don't need anyone trying to correct me. It's just there's a lot of S's here.
Shay said that bad guy is uncookable, a.k.a. unfuckwittable.
So you're going to call him escargot?
That's what Shay
I'm
said.
going to continue my conversation.
I can see him being slimy. Go ahead.
I can't see you at all because you suck. So I'm going to continue my conversation here.
That doesn't technically make sense.
Technically, I don't care. Yeah. So I'm going to keep going because I'm
go. What are you, Barbara? Just go.
I'm not going to do it because you told me. I'm going to do it because I want to. But Yeah, I see Solo Bloodline winning.
She said no
I,
more.
I didn't even think you could laugh. I thought you could only cough. Good job.
Give me a second, I'll call.
Yeah, cough again. But yeah, I see
Would you-
Solo and his team winning. I'm sorry. Let me just
Would you
get
like to
over.
give your input, executive consultant?
Yeah, because he
What?
ain't saying nothing. All right, so
And you have?
I will go with the real bloodline, which is Tama Tonga, Solo Sikoa, and Jacob Fatu. If Jacob Fatu's in this match, I got them winning. If Jacob Fatu's not in this match, I got them losing. And if they lose, they're going to beat that ass on Friday, all four of them, which is they're going to say, we need help. If Sami Zayn shows up, that's also going to be a factor, and that's something to consider. But as of right now, I'm going to go with the real bloodline, and that's Solo's bloodline, because I respect and I hail my tribal chief.
You take
man,
cough
I'm
from
just
it. You
Go
drink
ahead.
cough medicine at this time. But go ahead, Z.
He drinks cough medicine when he can't get to the liquor store because it's closed.
There we go. What they call that? What they call it? The salon? I forget what it was. I forget the name they called it at the time. But go ahead, Z. I'm sorry.
What do you mean? What do you mean with the rappers drink?
Mhm.
When they put Sprite in it?
Oh, was it lean? Is it lean?
Yeah. He be on that lean. Yeah, that cheap liquor. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can't
executive,
take the bottle of
executive
Mad Dog
lean.
2020. He looking like he never had a cheat moment. This is the problem. He act like he never had struggle meals. He act like he never had a cheat moment. Like, stop. Let's stop the bullshit. Now things like spam and ramen just are
You know what? I don't
languages
eat.
to him.
I don't eat ramen as much anymore. But spam, I remember having some spam, and you know what? Listen, a guy
Spam
didn't
is
have.
not bad.
Spam is something that reminds me every single time Bad Guy Jazz talks, so I understand why you have spam. But no, I don't have that. Okay.
No, your spams is really your jokes.
Just
But
a
carry
second.
on.
I don't understand what you're saying right now because you're not making sense. I picked who I think is going to win. It's going to be Solo in the Bloodline. They're going to beat Roman Reigns and the Man's Bloodline. And
I'm the
that's
executive consultant, and I just
There's
talk.
nothing wrong with spam. Spam and eggs, spam and rice. There's nothing wrong with it.
just a
Check.
second. Some
Check.
people like
It's
good
nothing-
stuff,
check. If
and
you-
some
as
people
long
like
as you-
crap.
Shay, as long as you said that statement with a vote of yes, I've never had it, I'd be intrigued to try it. But don't put your nose up in the air like Pepe Le Pew over here to talking about.
No,
I've
actually,
never-
no.
I've
The
never
executive
met
consultant.
Spam.
You know what? If
Executive
it was a
consultant.
Looney Tune parody, he'd be Fallhorn Layhorn. You know, he never get anything
I'll
done.
say, boy, I'll
I'll say.
All right, first of all, that's more Vincent. Second of all, fuck you. Can we go?
All right, let me go.
What else is
Let me
there?
go.
What else is
Let
there?
me cook. I got the ingredients. Let me get us out of here. I'm going to tell you that
I'm so sorry.
the bloodline. I think that Solo's bloodline will win this.
Yeah.
Just simply because of what we saw on Monday, right? The approaching of Sami Zayn. Now, the approaching of Sami Zayn wasn't Jay asking him yet. I don't care what Mike Knox has to say about it. Sammy is absolutely a part of this bloodline. The honorary Uso is a part of this bloodline. When the bloodline was at its peak, I think that EC said this, they were hot as fish grease. Everybody had a shirt. The Usos had a shirt, Roman had a shirt, the bloodline collectively had a shirt, the Island of Revelry shirt, and Sami Zayn had a shirt. That is their prime, that is their peak. I literally saw a memory today that I think it was around this time where Roman told Sammy to take the shirt off and got him an honorary Uso shirt. He got him a Sammy Uso shirt. Like, that's it. That's where you want it to be at. The greatest story in the history of professional wrestling continues and peels back one more layer of the onion this Saturday, and it's going to get even better. Now, over under predictions on The Rock showing up, or does he show up next month?
I don't think he shows
Or
up
at
on.
War Games, not next month, because next month is December.
What are you saying? War Games, Survivor Series.
Is War Games is in when?
It's November. I forget when. I think it's towards the end.
The last Saturday of the week.
Okay, there we go. But I don't think he shows up on this. November 30th. November 30th is okay. I don't see him showing up on this show, but I do see him. Like, if I had to pick between the shows, I could see him showing up at Survivor Series.
I agree. So overall, we look like we have a decent 7-card match for Crown Jewel. We got the grudge match.
Or 7-match card.
Monsters Revenge.
Mm-hmm.
The ladies. This trash match. I think this probably be the weakest match on the card. I'm not going to lie. Or it could possibly be this. But overall, really, really good card for Triple H. I'm sure the internet wrestling darlings will still be pissed off about something, because why the hell not? Now, before we get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen, we have something for everybody. Let me find what I'm supposed to put up here, because I just be going.
Before you do that,
yes, sir.
If you don't mind, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt because I know it's your guys' show, but I wanted to highlight, because this is like our guy here for UPR, but he said his birthday month is in November, and we're going to make sure to celebrate you on Jeffrey Reimer, because I saw that and I said I just felt like we should have made sure that it's clear that we see you, sir.
Jeffrey, what day is your birthday? Is it more towards NXT? Is it more towards the SmackDown Penitentiary? We will give you a topic of your choice to talk about. I mean,
and to be honest,
it's show, but still, whatever you want to talk about, pro wrestling wise, let us know. You got it.
And not that it's a competition, because you guys at SmackDown has been killing it. Raw, but regardless of what it is, we're gonna celebrate you guys, celebrate you on NXT and on SmackDown. He said November 11th. When is? I'll look at that on the.
Hold on, I got a calendar right here. Hold on.
Tell us, sir.
It's November 11th. November 11th.
Oh, that's on Monday. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's on Monday Night Raw. Oh my God, that's terrible.
Rated R for Monday Night Raw every single Monday with myself and Freckle Sensei. Let me tell you something. These two clowns, right? Get that crap out of it. These two clowns. Okay. I've been trying to be nice. Debating the executive consultant. Obviously you want some of that smoke. I'm not going to give it to you, right?
I would love to smoke.
Nobody cares about your NXT show. You got a third-rate show on a third-rate station. Actually, not even third-rate. It's fourth-rate station.
Is that the washing machine going off?
You wouldn't know what it sounds like. Look, all I'm saying
yes,
is...
I do.
No, you don't. All I'm saying is we have the best show on television. Why not? Freckles says they dress up as a different anime character each and every single week.
And it still doesn't help.
It does help. Right? Everybody wants to see it. I saw your drumming video too, Jeff. Right?
I saw it too. And no, you didn't see it. No. I commented and I said the drumtastic Jeffrey Reimer. Don't. Jeffrey,
listen, Jeffrey, send it to me at the Z is Silent on Facebook. Send it to me. We're gonna highlight you on.
Honestly,
Facebook.
Look, Z, I respect everything that you've done, but I'm gonna tell you right now, Jeffrey Reimer is a Jack Packer. So I'm sorry, he's a part of the Jack Pack community. Sorry, he's with
Saturday
me.
Comes before Tuesday.
I have no idea what anything means.
If he sends it to me, I'm going to play it on the Saturday before your.
No, you're not. No, I don't.
We ain't got no coke here, Tony. We ain't got no coke. No coke. I'm down with my G's.
I don't even know what's going on there with that picture. That's hilarious.
We got something for everybody here. And
lead the way, Z.
Tomorrow or Saturday, we will have this SmackDown Penitentiary. Make sure you stay tuned to keep an eye out on Unpopular Reviews social media pages. We'll find out. That depends on whenever my partner Vic decides that is good for him, because he's the late one. And then Mondays we'll have the Mike Knox show that will be replaced with the Crown Jewel review show. And then Monday night after Raw, it'll be Raw review.
Mike Knox show.
Okay, well, the Raw review show, immediately after Raw, if they feel like it. We don't know if they want to be the top show. If they decide that they want to be the top show, as they choose. But anyway, and then Tuesday you got the NXT review crew with Bad Guy Jack, Sabrina Estella, and then Wednesdays, White Boy Wasted Wednesdays with Dan and Man, Cactus Katie, Venomous Vince, and Mad Dog Kelly. And then top 5 next week is the top 5 AEW champions in history. And then we circle back around to me, the inevitable, aka the Apprentice of Thanos, snap the finger.
One Z to solid. I didn't mean to interrupt you. You did a fantastic job. I'll make sure to give you your flowers, sir. But I do want to say next week, because on Wednesday, we're going to have the NXT and AEW crew combined, because it's going to be one show. So it's going to be how do you say it? Simulcast? I think that's the perfect word to use.
Have you ever done a show with Vince?
I have, actually. I have. And I've actually met him in person, and I kid you not, the dude is actually very much hilarious. So I have done a show with all the guys from or guys and
George,
gals.
You make sure you turn in, you tune in to the SmackDown Penitentiary. You give me a topic of what you want to talk about on pro wrestling. We will make that the focal point just for you, just for you.
But, you know, I like George, but he's a jackpacker, but he turns his back on me. He's not really stable. Every time I mention JC Jane, he finds a way to step on my white Converses, and I don't like any of that. But I do like George. George is fantastic, and we'll make sure to celebrate both you and Jeffrey, the G-men of Unpopular Review. Need to see that video of Steve one last time. Put that video one more time of Steve. I don't know who played it. Play it one more time. Fantastic. But we're going to do that this Wednesday. NXT AEW combined show. It should be great. So
I believe that is complete. There's going to be complete chaos because both shows are at the same time. So how does that even happen? Like, this match just happened. This segment just happened. This match just happened. This segment just happened. All the while, you guys are all watching the show at the same time. I'm here for the shits.
I kid you not. Real quick. So when I first started with UPR, we did a NXT. We did a UPR and UPR. I'm sorry, NXT AEW review show at the same time. I think we went 2 hours. That's why I was like, "Hey, if we do this, it's going to be a long show." And when you and shout out to you, you said, "Why don't you just do a simulcast so we don't compete against each other?" Right? That's silly. And just to do that. So it's been a long time since that's been done. So I look forward to being on the show with one wrestling doll, whoever shows up for AEW, because I don't know.
And Vinny the Spotter, Venomous Video are definitely going to be there. I'm not sure about Dan the Band yet.
Oh, there we go. But I look forward to do the show. And it's going to be a good time. So tune in on Wednesday after all the events.
All right, that is our show. That is our prediction show. This show went 23 minutes, actually like 45 minutes over what it was supposed to do. But the numbers are dope, so that will allow a pass. And you know what happens? You know what happens when we get egotistical maniacs on the show? Numbers.
Shout out to you, executive consultant.
Oh, chaos. I don't think it's shout out to him.
Your name is the Great Grand Slam Pooba. If anybody's egotistical, is you.
You consult nobody.
You really don't. You haven't.
Everything.
I've been taking nothing but shots every time he says that. And I watched this thing on replay, and I sat here and I said, oh, yeah, look at that. Look at that.
Still, the shirts are still here. $14.99. Holla at me. I get you a shirt. $14.99. Holla at me. All good. I got you. Now,
I don't know where I'm going. There we go.
Gentlemen, any last look at his face. Look. He looks like he doesn't even. He's not going anywhere to any Halloween parties. Just drink some NyQuil and call it.
I just missed the chance to go get a mask because I needed to get one, but that's fine.
A mask? Put some lipstick on. I'm sure you got some hanging around.
I'm not going to the gay club with lipstick. That's just not
Exactly the something. Any last words before we sign up out of here?
Yes.
Of course.
I'm telling you, if you look at that AEW episode last night, you will see that everything I said was accurate. I gave you a perfect description of AEW Dynamite last night.
Okay. Grand Slam Poopa. Any last words for you?
Let me see. What is that noise? What is someone falling off a mountain or something like that?
No, that's just executive assault
how your
scratching
microphone's
a scratch-off ticket, thinking that he won something on
The
the
executive consultant wants to win Funniest Host so badly, but he hasn't beaten me in the last 2 years. And I know he won. I know he's won Host of the Year, but you keep people who are fair for their lives, so that's cool. Parting words.
Hold on. So in other words, you're saying for the past 2 years, as far as Funniest Host goes, executive consultant has been dominated.
Absolutely, good job on the word. He has been dominated. Think how Gunther's going to dominate one. Bill Goldberg, you're a fraud. Rey Mysterio, you're a fraud. And Nick Cannon, you're a fraud. And my parting words are...
Hold on, what did Nick Cannon catch a straight for? He's a great black man in black culture. Now, if he would have said that because he married Mariah Carey, I would have got it. I'm a Mariah Carey fan to the death of me. But he did not say that. He just got up. That man is exclusive for the culture. That's all I'm saying.
Nick Cannon?
Yes. What did Nick Cannon do to him?
He made a song
called Gigolo.
Oh, you actually know the name of it? Well, you watch Rampage. So.
Gigolo was a great song for Nick Cannon. What are you talking about?
Best thing Nick Cannon has ever done is Wildin' Out.
Okay. All right. For the executive consultant, I am Zia Silent. We have run over overtime. Thank you for watching Top 5 tonight. If you missed Top 5, it is Top 5 North American Champions. Thank you for watching this prediction show for Crown Jewel. Make sure you tune in or keep an eye out on damn. Are you a host or no? All right, come on, get it together. Okay, all right. Make sure you tune in or you keep an eye out for Unpopular Reviews social media pages so you will know if we are going to do a show tomorrow directly after SmackDown or if we're going to do it Saturday morning. And Saturday mornings, it's one of my Saturdays with my son, so y'all know how that tends to get kind of wild because he wants to be the star of the show. So I'm trying to shoot for Friday, but Vic's always late, so we never know. He might be asleep by the time SmackDown goes off. We don't know. But anyway, for the executive consultant, I am Zia Silent. We want to say thank you, all of you, for tuning in. You guys are the lifeline. You are the lifeblood of UPR. We could not do what we love to do without you guys tuning in. Every single show that we have, make sure you check into UPR Wrestling, UPR Entertainment, all of the above. And with that being said, we are out of here, everybody. Peace.